there's something that we need to talk about. The Ever After, this new world that we're going to explore in Volume 9, is suffering from a little mouse problem. An infestation that threatens to overrun the entire world. And it's spreading. I've seen it happen already to the people of our world. Just a 4-minute clip of the first episode of RWBY, and people are already saying that the mouse is their favorite character of the volume. And you know what? I can't really blame them. Little, the mouse, is absolutely adorable and is going to be a core character of Volume 9. So, let's talk about the purpose of Little throughout this volume. From the brief clip that we were able to see at the start of Episode 1 of Volume 9, we were shown RWBY's reaction upon first entering the kind of forest of this world. How it seems to have obviously certain characteristics with it. That she's walking back and forth and constantly passing by the same rock over and over again. So the idea of linear space, I guess, in this other world isn't going to work exactly as we are accustomed to. We see RWBY get frustrated, sit down, and cry. The weather changes along with her mood, which is very interesting. As she's sitting down and crying, there is then a mouse that she sees trying to pull a plant up from the ground. And upon seeing it, she helps the mouse, picks it up, and pulls the plant out of the ground, which is a cheese potato, I guess? Or cheese fruit? You know, it's cheese that is grown in the dirt. And when RWBY offers the cheese to the mouse, who is reaching for it, and yet again in a very adorable manner, she wishes for someone to help her as well. And to her surprise, the mouse talks back. They say that they could try. Which, of course, leads to a surprise for both of them as RWBY screams, never seeing a mouse talk before, and the introduction of Little and their overall place in the Volume 9 storyline is shown to us. And at first, Little does not have a name, but asks RWBY what she is. RWBY's response is a bit confused, saying she's a human, she's a huntress, she's Ruby Rose. And Little then asks the important question that will be pretty much the purpose of this entire volume. What is it to Ruby Rose? Essentially asking, what is it to Ruby Rose? What is it to be Ruby? What is it that she stands for, and what is it that she's trying to achieve? I will be discussing that in its own video, and in this video I want to discuss Little in particular. When RWBY then asks the mouse what its name is, they respond that, oh, they're still young. They haven't been given their name yet. And so RWBY then decides to name the mouse Little as a temporary name so she can have something to refer to the mouse as. And then the rest of the clip is a brief discussion of RWBY asking Little whether they have seen any other humans around. RWBY goes on describing the other humans, as in one of them has blonde hair, one of them has cat ears, which of course, you know, Little is a bit freaked out by. I'm curious to know how Little is going to react when they eventually meet the Cheshire Cat, and Blake just initially as well. There's a couple cats that are going to be prevalent in this volume, and with Little being a prominent character, there's going to be some definite interactions between them, fear that maybe Little will have to overcome. But ultimately, Little has not seen anyone like RWBY, or not like her at all before, but offers that someone else in their village might have come across another human at some point in time. So that's where it's going to lead after that point. Likely in the episode it might cut and either go to a different member of Team RWBY, or might just cut to the village as a whole. Regardless, the introduction of Little right at the start of Episode 1 introduces us to the core concept of Volume 9. Finding your purpose. And, in particular, a little hint as to how kind of wacky Volume 9 is going to be if you ever try to describe it to someone. Not only is there a sentient talking mouse, but a portion of the volume is going to be following their storyline as to the mouse finding its purpose. How does one Little? Likely, Little is a name that they are going to eventually adapt to themselves, that they are going to self-identify with, and that they are going to keep moving forward. Unfortunately, I have a feeling Little is going to remain a resident of the Ever After and not come back to Remnant along with Team RWBY, but we'll have to see how everything plays out. Throughout this volume, though, along with RWBY discovering her own purpose, Little is going to be doing the same. Throughout the journeys that they have alongside RWBY, and through being introduced to other characters, and probably other aspects of the Ever After itself, Little is going to discover more of their own world and discover more of their own purpose. The fact that Little said they had not seen any other human before is very telling given what we have seen from the little teaser trailer of Volume 9 that we got so far. We see a number of other human characters outside of Team RWBY, Jean, and Neo. There's one that really looks like a warrior. There is a knight that is in like full worn armor, like it's been battle worn, that armor isn't freshly made, and the knight and the warrior lady might be the same person. Not exactly sure. We haven't really seen the warrior lady full close up just yet, but could be the same person, but very much looks to be human. And we have also seen another unknown person walking on the beach. There are a lot of people saying that that individual is CL, but I really highly doubt that, given that CL is in fact a member of Atlas, but you never know. Rooster Teeth, I guess, could write it in that one of the people who got knocked off the platform by Cinder at the end of Volume 8 was in fact CL. We know she was alongside Penny in Volume 3, a member of her team. She was someone studying at Atlas Academy. She was in Atlas, meaning she had to have passed through the crossroads, so it is entirely possible that it could be CL. However, I have a feeling it's not going to be. But the fact that there are other human characters that have been shown to be in Volume 9 likely means that there have been human characters that have been a resident of that world, of the Ever After, at some point in the past, if not currently. And we also know that Alex, the girl who fell through the world, is likely going to be relevant in this world as well, in this volume. Perhaps she's still living in that world. As I mentioned when I did the review of the teaser itself, Alex is likely the one who has been narrating the teaser. So, the fact that Little has not seen any other humans, and possibly not even any other humanoid beings, which we do know is present in this world given that we've seen one more humanoid character. Though it kind of looks similar to the God of Darkness, it does have humanoid aspects to it. 2 arms, 2 legs, bipedal, etc. But Little definitely seems more isolated in their own corner of Ever After, and through journeying with the rest of Team RWBY, they will discover their own purpose. At this point, we have literally no idea what that purpose could be, unless there's a mouse discovering their purpose in the Alice in Wonderland story that could be more relevant and could be related to Little. I really need to look at Alice in Wonderland a little bit more deeply, because I don't have that much knowledge of it in general, but through Little discovering their own purpose, it's very likely that RWBY will begin to discover her own purpose as well. And it's entirely possible that Little may be the exact reason that Team RWBY is able to escape from this other world. That upon Team RWBY discovering their own purpose, that will unlock the way for them to escape. Likely, the massive tree in the center of it is going to play a very big role, perhaps journeying to the tree itself, or moving through different checkpoints along this journey, like, for example, RWBY constantly passing the same stone over and over and over again. You know, maybe the world itself is kind of set up as a quest to discover your own purpose as you're journeying towards this tree. I'm going to do a whole video on that as well, but there's a lot of questions that are going to be risen by the existence of Little themselves, and those questions are going to be solved by watching their journey, by seeing how Little is going to develop into their own character and find their own purpose. So let me know what you guys think of Little so far, and what you think their overall purpose might end up being. Do you think that they are going to become an important character to the world of Ever After overall? Do you think that there's a chance that they might continue on in the RWBY series past Volume 9? There are a vast number of possibilities at this point in time. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about Little and the journey that we will follow them on throughout the course of Volume 9. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, make sure to subscribe and join the Guild of the Eternal Flame. Tweet me at PhoenixKnight7, and I'll see you guys in the next video.